All right, guys, welcome. Good morning. We have for you today the ESL One Genting closed qualifiers for South America. And our first game of the day is Mad Kings versus TShow. I am your caster, Moxie. I'm casting this with Forge Dota. And Forge, we've got a little bit of a challenge today because I guess the ticket for this did not get approved. So we will be, doing our best guesses as to who is who on the other side here.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Luckily, a couple of players still have the same names as their pro names. We've got Longling Blue, Nada, and Sladin. But the rest of them, it's gonna be mildly confusing, at least for a little bit.
We'll figure it out, though. I hope you're ready to play some guessing games here. But I'm pretty excited to be following this team. We followed Mad Kings through open qualifiers. When I was casting with Mags, we saw some really impressive plays coming out from them, especially Ro12 on his mid. I think it was the Storm Spirit went 22-16 against Team Kronos. And their core player was absolutely insane as well. We saw the Gyrocopter going 13-1-12, and when he was on Morph, 14-1-5. So I'm interested to see if they're going to pick up any of those heroes again.
Well, it looks like TShow was watching those qualifiers as well, because they've already banned out the Morphling in preparation for that. So no return of the 13-1 Morphling, I guess.
I guess not. But a lot of these are pretty standard bans, though, too. You have to keep in mind Medusa's been incredibly strong lately. Some of that top pick material. Omni Knight, of course, is just an absolute menace because of his Guardian Angel and the way that just diffusal and things like that work anymore. You can't actually take that off. Oh, we get the Luna. All right, we've got some Shadow Demon Luna action coming out.
Yeah,
That'll be a lot of sieging.
One of the older metas kind of making its way back into the rotation, the Shadow Demon Luna. Shadow Demon actually getting pretty strong in this patch. I liked his change with the his bonus damage grading the illusions if they die, and it works really well against Tiny because Tiny has just such raw base damage, and of course the Luna combination as well being just incredibly potent.
Oh yeah, and Shadow Poison just does so much harass in lane, and will definitely be a great way to just kind of push back the offlaner a little bit. But no Bat, no Brew, and no Undying. That has been an interesting hero. When I was doing my research for the South American region, I noticed they really seem to favor Undying quite a bit. Do you know why that is?
Well, it seems to be a region that likes their early fighting, and I think there's no better hero in the game for that than Undying. The decay stacks just swing fights so favorably. You always think, okay, I'm just gonna get these last couple of hits in and then we'll get him, but then he just gets another decay and another decay. The next thing you know, you've got a Undying that's sitting at 1200 HP and you've got 400 max, and you just can't kill him. So he really dominates those early fights. And as well, a lot of the current meta picks aren't heroes that are good at taking down the tombstone, which is another way of dealing with Undying. So between those two combinations, it's just a very potent hero.
That's absolutely true. Another good hero is, of course, the Viper, fighting very, very early, especially with the rework here. But I'm interested to see if they're going to try to go for something like a Gyrocopter. We see the Elder Titan actually getting banned out, although Shadow Demon, Elder Titan combo, pretty nice setup for that stomp. Interesting to note, Winter Wyvern actually not picked up on either team or banned. She's actually one of the top cores right now, or sorry, not cores, support picks right now. Being able to throw out that slow, the harass with the percentage-based damage. Nice big team fight ulti, especially when you've got a lot of physical carries that are doing a lot of right-click. I'm kind of surprised about it, but TShow picks up the puck. That'll set up for some really nice initiations, whereas the side of Mad Kings right now, we could use a little bit of initiation coming out from them. There is still a Centaur in the pool, though, which is great initiation. They could pick up something like a Clockwork. I know I've seen them play that before.
Yeah, Clockwork wouldn't be too bad. The Centaur, I think a little bit out of the meta right now, but even something just as simple as the Tide Hunter, very difficult hero to harass at a lane. Even does kind of well against Tiny, just because of Anchor Smash being so good. Reducing a lot of that base damage. What might have a difficult time against Shaman, because Shaman has such high base damage, but you send Shadow Demon up there and any other roaming hero, But it looks like actually they're going to go for the Sand King. I do know that Mad Kings likes to run the Sand King off lane. So we might see that.
That also answers our question about needing some more initiation coming out here. SK being able to get like an early Blink Dagger, or even just the Burrow Strike Epi does quite a bit of work early on. So nice pickup here.
Yeah, good initiation against the puck as well because of the instant cast on Burrow. And even if just good strong counter initiation as well. Epicenter, very nice attack speed slow against the Tiny. Not one of the more noticeable things about Epicenter, but with the status resistance, definitely can still be nice.
So I'm guessing they're thinking that this Tiny is possibly going mid, considering they banned out a Terrorblade. Although they did ban out the Tinker as well, so they are thinking perhaps there's a bit of flexibility there. But oh man, this is a guy that has been showing up more and more lately. Tusk.
Yeah, Tusk, I think on his way back into... I think he's like 1 or 2 buffs away from being obnoxiously overpowered again. The Shards block is just incredibly potent right now, and with the Bat Rider already getting banned out, there's not a huge pool of heroes that are going to easily be able to escape that. Sand King, if he wastes his Burrow Strike, going to be stuck. Luna can't get away, and the Shadow Demon as well. Just a lot of really good kite potential there, as well as the save versus the Eclipse with the Snowball. Could be really nicely played by Tusk.
Yeah, Nada's got to be really, really careful in playing his lane, because that's definitely a kill lane with the, assuming that, you know, the Tiny is going to be going into safe lane. You got the Avalanche, you've got the Shadow Shaman, 2 different disables, and then, of course, you've got the Shards and Snowball coming out. So that's pretty scary for our little Sandy King. Does have a pretty good advantage, though, being able to go stack camps for himself, do a little jungling that way, though, to catch up in case that lane just starts going very, very south. But looks like that's going to be a position for Sand King. So Tidehunter, Nada going to be on the watermelon here. That's still pretty scary, honestly.
Yeah, not exactly the easiest hero to lane against Shaman with a Tusk roaming around, just because Kraken Shell doesn't purge off the fact that you're getting physically blocked by Shards. And with a nice Hex into Shards combo, still a scary lane for the watermelon, but he's just really strong in the meta overall. Still has a very strong laning presence. If he gets some help at all from Sand King, they actually have some pretty good kill potential on the Tiny, or even just nerfing the Shadow Shaman into oblivion with repeated deaths. So maybe looking to just set up an aggro dual lane with the Sand King roaming around.
I'm sure the position 3s really, really hate seeing Tidehunter being back in the meta. I don't know many like offlaners who would say like, oh, Tidehunter, that's a hero I really enjoy playing.
Maybe somebody like Universe or something like that, but even then, I'm sure he groans a little bit. But he's just a stable hero. It's like Viper being back in the meta.
It's like the Dragon Knight of the off lane, you know? Can't really kill him. He's, got some nice pushing potential and, like, taking fights and stuff. But, yeah, not basically the hero that, stays alive and then you hit R for a big, flashy team fight. But, alright, so no Quap gonna be here as well. The thing that I'm concerned about, Forge, is looking at their lineup right now. We've got a Luna, we've got a Shadow Demon, and a Sand King, which sets up for some really nice aggressive play in the lane of, for the Mad King safe lane. But then, because Luna is so very squishy, they're gonna have to babysit her, I feel, like, pretty hard, because if they start roaming with a Shadow Shaman Tusk, she's so susceptible early on.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary game for the Luna so far. They're going to need some kind of space making mid. And I think right now they're just kind of trying to figure out if this is going to be the off lane or the mid puck, or maybe even the mid Tiny and the off lane puck, and they could swap around. TShow has drafted themselves very nicely into this flexible position. They have the last pick overall. So Mad Kings has to draft themselves some kind of tempo controlling mid laner. I wouldn't even hate to see something like the TA, just something that comes online very early and can create space for the Luna. But it's going to be the Mirana.
Team Cat Lady here. I like it. I like it, Mad Kings. But that's a little bit of a squishy lineup. That's relying on that Tidehunter pretty heavily to tank most of this damage, and that's pretty scary.
It is a bit squishy, but they have lots of catch and disable for this puck, which is going to be key. Lots of different ways to interrupt the shackles from the Shadow Shaman, and even a little bit of save potential from the Shadow Demon. So it's a little bit squishy and a little bit scary, but TShow doesn't have themselves that much more of a tanky lineup. Tiny is the tankiest hero on the Radiant side right now. And if he's the only one alive versus even like 2 of the dire heroes, I'm still worried for that Tiny.
All right, moment of truth. It's going to be the Juggernaut. All right, so we've got an off-lane Puck. We've got a mid-Tiny and Jug on that safe lane. That's so scary for Sand King. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so classic spin into Shackles combination. Tidehunter going to be okay against that because of Kraken Shell, but again, going back to that Tusk, the Shards block could be very, very detrimental to this Tidehunter's HP. I think Sand King is going to have to babysit his Tide a little bit in the early levels.
But is he going to be able to do that? Because that leaves Luna very, very susceptible for ganks. Oh no. Which draft are you liking better right now?
I think I'm going to go with the Mad King's draft. It's just very standard Dota right now. SD Luna is incredibly
no one wants to
potent.
get called standard.
it's there's nothing wrong with being standard. Standard wins games. They've got an SD Luna. It scales very well into the late game. It's a pretty scary lane, even in the early game, just because of the Soul Catcher and the Lunar Blessing. There's a lot of damage. They might be squishy, but they can deal a lot of damage. And the Sand King roaming around. I'm liking the Mad King's draft.
All right, fair enough. So we head into game number 1, guys. And we get the insta-pause immediately. So, again, guys, apologies. We don't have a ticket for this particular series, so names are going to be a little bit fuzzy. We'll try our best here, but we'll probably just be calling people out by their character names for the most part. Looks like Mad Kings does have some of their names written out here. I'm going to take an educated guess. Obviously, Sladen going to be playing the Sand King. I believe the Tide is Nada. De Conquistador Otra Vez. Nada, actually, it's on the Marana. Okay, never mind. I'm totally lost here.
So Tide.
So Tide is. I thought this would be Robo Z on the Marana here. I'm very confused. Yeah. Atan's usually on the core. You've got probably Shisid on the Shadow Demon. I don't know. I'm very confused. I'm not sure if they're doing this to mess with us too, or if they have like a stand-in today.
They might. It's possible.
And already we're off to a great start here, guys.
We'll have to see how the lanes go out. I mean, this is a pretty flexible draft, honestly. From well, the Radiant side more so, but you could even kind of do some kind of shenanigans. Leave Tide alone. Do like off lane Sand King, mid Luna. It's crazy, but crazy works sometimes.
Sometimes crazy does indeed work. All right, and on the side of TShow, we're gonna take a best guess. Lowling Blue, of course, is showing up as his actual name. H1 Jack gonna be on that Puck. The XD, I think, is 444. He's playing the Tusk. 7H3, R3, etc., so forth. I think is Terrence. And looks like that's gonna be CYS on the Tiny. Again, just guessing here, guys. Wish we had actual names, but unfortunately we do not. So got another bit of pause. I'm wondering if some of the players have a little bit of lag. We are on Brazilian servers today for these games.
Yeah, I remember Tidehunter did disconnect during the draft, so I know for sure he's having some issues. And now it seems like they're having some keyboard issues on the Juggernaut.
That'll happen. That'll happen. And of course, it'll happen during your match too, not like earlier on when you can adjust those things.
Of course.
Definitely been there, done that.
Where do you think we're going to see first blood? That's my real.
Depends on how everything's laid. It depends on who's starting where, and I'm really kind of nervous for the Sand King. If he's going into that. Oh, it's actually going to be the Tide. I'm still kind of nervous about the Tide. actually for the setup. So I'm not sure if it's going to be 2-on-2 lanes coming out from the side of the Dire here with the Sand King starting off with Tidehunter to try to secure him some levels, but that's still really scary. You know, Shadow Shaman followed up with Tusk Shards and then just Spin coming out from Jug. That's going to do a ton of damage. I don't care if you're super tanky like Tide or, you know, a little Sand King. It's still going to be very, very scary and intimidating to go into. I'd like to see the support stack actually quite a bit for either the Tidehunter or the honestly, they've got great people to take stacks just in general on the side of the Dire with the Sand King who can take stacks. You've got Tidehunter who can take Ancients. You've got Shadow Demon who can farm really well, and the Luna. So I'm interested to see how they do this.
And even on the Radiant side too, there's a lot of I mean, Tiny with his tree grab now. Jug, Battle Fury Jug is pretty much the way to go for most people, I think. So a lot of stacking, I think, going to be coming up from both teams.
It looks like they're going for an invasion. Yeah, they'll go ahead. They'll smoke up. Looks like they're either going to let Tusk or Shadow Shaman lead. So Luna's got to be very careful because everyone else over here has made their way to the bottom rune spot.
There is a smoke on Sand King, so they might think that they're going for the aggressive maneuver. But I think Luna knows what's up.
Yeah, I think Luna's like, oh boy, I don't know if anyone's on the map yet, so I'm just going to hang out in the trees. And maybe pray we get lucky. In fact, it looks like they're actually going to back off here. They just wanted to place that ward. They're not going to get super aggressive.
Yeah, with no one showing, they're worried about getting wrapped around on. You don't want you don't want to get mind read and wrapped around behind from the Roche pit.
And the counterplay here coming out from the side of the Dire.
Oh, Jug
There's
might
the
die
Jug.
Here.
His Spidey sense is tingling. It's got to be, right? He's walking around here.
Speaking of Spidey sense, Luna's is going off at the same time.
Looks like Jug says, yeah, no, this is too spook for me. Will back himself out. Luna deciding not to go for that rune, especially when she sees that Puck's picked it up, so.
Yeah, so it'll be just a 2-for-2. And Mirana's going to be heading to the mid. And it does look like Tide is going to head into that off lane. So it is a support Sand King.
Well, is it going to be a 2-1-2, though, is my question. Are we gonna?
I think Sand King will probably start bottom, and then once Tide hits like level 2, maybe into level 3, he'll start roaming around a bit. But I think Slidine definitely has to start.
Oh, that base damage coming out from Lowling Blue. Look at poor little Sand King. Yeah, he doesn't want that. Still has the ward on him too. I'm sure they checked out his inventory, keeping an eye on if they're gonna actually drop that. But Tide gonna take advantage of the fact that there is no support right now with this Jug.
Toss. Mirana doesn't have leap.
Oh boy, this is looking, yeah, this could be first blood. She pops up Fairy Fire, is going to try to run herself out here. Pops the Self, is going to get a little bit more HP. Tries to run out. Tusk, he's got shards in about 6 seconds. Oh man, this is a lot of time. She throws out the arrow, but the toss with that last creep. Going to be able to take her down. First blood. Going to Tiny.
That was a crazy, I don't know if they just guessed that she had an arrow because most Miranas start with arrow, but good read and good exploitation of the misskilling from the Mirana.
Well, they must have figured that. Oh boy, Tidehunter. Oh, he's struggling a little bit down here. It looks like he's going to TP himself out to well. And that's what I was talking about here with this lane. Doesn't matter how tanky you are, there's just so much lockdown to hold you into place with that spin, shards, and of course, Shadow Shaman locking you down.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's going to make it back in time for a lot of this experience. So even though this is pushing into his tower, I think most of these creeps are going to be dead by the time he's in experience rage. So that's a huge loss for Tidehunter, who needs those levels to start tanking up and be able to actually contest this lane.
Yeah, I think they need to be stacking for him, honestly. This is a very scary lane for him. Top lane. Oh, looks like Sladin gonna be able to steal that bounty rune from Puck. Throws out a Burrow Strike here. Will just try to get himself away, but he's held up. He's banished in. Will try to TP himself out. They don't have enough damage, do they? Oh, yes! Looks like the Shadow Demon gets himself a Fairy Dragon.
That was really nicely played by the Shadow Demon there, getting the disruption off as the orb comes out so he can't jaunt. Puck's forced to TP, but at that point there's just too much damage. Well played.
We have a very sparkly Tusk down here with the double damage. Does have shards about halfway done here. Nada, though, he doesn't want to go further than his tower. He's pretty concerned. And I do like the Tusk trying to keep tabs as well on any stacks that they might have for the Tidehunter. Sand King is standing nearby here. Tiny's very forward. He has actually just thrown his tree. It's pretty tanky, though. I don't know. You think they can get this?
It's going to be tough. If they get...
Oh, Tusk is right nearby, too.
There's just stacking coming up from Shadow Demon, so I don't think they get this kill.
Bit of zoning going on here, at least, you know. There's the Tusk following up.
It's a tough kill mid either way, because Tiny just has so much burst damage, and he can toss you under his own tower, which is scary, and Mirana could just leap away from most of the ganks now, because she has her level 3. So mid's going to be pretty hard to gank for a while, I think.
A nice block coming out here from Tusk. We'll try to get that creep wave back to the other side here. Top lane's actually been so quiet.
Yeah, it's another lane that's just really hard to kill. Like, SD Luna, you don't really want to go up into it as a puck, because if you throw your orb the wrong way, you just get disrupted and you're going to die. And on the other side, it's a puck, and she just orbs away and you can't kill her. So it's a tough kill in a lot of these lanes, actually. Tidehunter's probably the most
Tidehunter. Where's the taunt, man? That is like prime taunt time, right? The Tusk is actually pincering in as well. Throws out the shards. They will actually connect. There's going to be a snowball, and he grabs that bounty rune, though.
I think he was trying to block him off from the rune, so good attempt there, but not quite able to get it.
What's the phrase? You miss every...
Miss every shards you don't throw?
Yeah, there we go.
Close enough.
It's either hook, shards...
Arrow.
There's you gotta go for gold, right?
That's it.
Got a little bit of stacking action going on here in the top lane.
Yeah, Shadow Demon's been really busy. Stacking agents, stacking lots of camps. Just wants to be able to sap some XP off of his Luna, get his levels.
Shimmerana's tired of getting trees thrown at her. Here in mid.
I mean, wouldn't you be?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sand King's gonna have to probably run himself out here. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to do it though. Ice Shards come out, we'll trap him. Tiny coming through. Oh, the arrow coming in, does it connect? No, it's not going to connect, unfortunately, for Mirana here. Sand King toss coming out, will actually clean him up. Tiny's having a good time in this lane.
Yeah, he I don't think he realized the Tiny was rotating over, so he threw his Burrow Strike very early and just got trapped up. This has been very nice play from the Tusk. That's 2 traps on heroes that have escapes so far.
Well, it's like you said, you know, this hero is seeing more and more play recently, and it's just very, very strong.
It's always fun to watch, too. The shards blocks can just be absolutely insane sometimes.
Oh, yeah, some of the plays and some of the saves, too, with the snowball.
Yeah. Really fun.
Remember when Naga was really, really popular, and we were seeing Tusk players do these really impressive plays, like taking them into the snowball right before sleep and such?
Yeah. No, I remember that.
Oh, yeah. All right, so this is scary right now. They're letting Jug just do whatever he wants in this bottom lane. He's already got the Aquila finished.
I mean, Jug's free farming, but so's Luna. They're pretty much tied for CS. The only advantage Luna has is in denies.
Oh, meanwhile, we see that Shadow Shaman. I didn't even see Shadow Shaman go. I heard the shackles, but
yeah,
that's a T-Tour zombie. Luna, oh man, Mirana trying to get herself back here. Can they turn this around over onto Tiny? One more click. Oh, he pops his wand, but unfortunately does not give him enough HP, and that salve actually going to heal up Mirana. Invisible Shadow Shaman coming through here. There's no one to quite close this gap, though, quite yet. We do see Tusk coming in.
They want to get. They're pinging. They want this. They want this Sand King.
Yeah, Puck's moving.
Sand King Blink is going to be pretty key.
Oh, nice shackles coming out here. We'll buy Puck a little bit more time. We don't see the Tusk coming back around. Is he going to pay for this, though? Looks like they get a kill over onto the Mirana again while we're chasing these guys top. But,
yeah, she used all of her leap charges, and it looks like they just chased after her with Snowball and got another shards block off. Tusk so far has been so well.
This is one of those games where they go from 0 to 60. Like, nothing's happening, and then everyone is fighting. Snowball coming in, though. They find themselves a Shadow Demon. He throws himself into the disruption. Luna coming forward, though. She's got her ultimate. Can she get this kill? We'll get the kill on Tusk. Can they get the final hit over here onto Lowling Blue? The chase is on, and yeah, there's one glaive right to the face. She'll be quite happy with that. Puck needs to get himself out of this predicament. We'll just jaunt away here. So that's not bad here. We've got level 7 on Luna. She's 50 and 37 here for last hits and denies. Oh my goodness, what a deny machine. And down here in the bot lane, Jug sitting at 57 and 14.
Slight XP advantage for him so far, just because.
Oh, top lane. We see a Sand King. There's a disruption coming up. We'll buy him a little bit more time here. Luna coming forward, wants to protect him. He's sitting very, very low here. Oh, it looks like he's going to try to jump himself around. There's the stun coming out here. Can Puck get another right click off? Gets the right click. It's enough to get the kill, but Luna, she cleans up over onto the Tusk. And now Puck, oh man, he gets a kill over on Shadow Demon as well.
Double kill for Puck. That Blink Dagger is
it's coming up fast, right? He's almost got his treads.
He's actually had a very rough lane. I didn't even realize that. I mean, we were talking about Tidehunter having a tough time, but Tidehunter's at least been farming well. Puck is 5 CS if he gets his rage creep. He's had a very tough lane.
Tidehunter making use of the double damage there. Let's try Puck trying to take these stacks. Why is Shadow Demon all the way back here?
I don't know why Sand King's back there.
Oh no, the Sand King going all the way back. That seems pretty silly. Oh, they start taking away the stack though for Tidehunter. I think he got most of it though already. So no huge loss, but I'm sure they're happy to take whatever they can away from him here.
I mean, I'm a little worried about how well this Jug is farming. It's 9 minutes in and he's already working towards the last part of his Battle Fury. He's probably going to get this for like 12, 13 minutes.
Tusk's going to try to buy himself some time here. We'll roll out. There's the disruption, though, coming out from Shadow Demon. Tidehunter standing nearby here. Look at a big burrow strike off, and it looks like Sand King will get the kill.
I was almost expecting one of those Ancient Prowlers to just
root them in place. Yeah, that'd be my luck.
Yeah, just get the deny off on the Tusk.
Ooh, Tidehunter.
Jug's got no
He's trying to bait him. That's totally what's going on here.
Does have a Ravage. They could maybe get this kill. Oh, wow.
And there was a rotation top lane. We saw that Tiny took down Luna.
Man, kills all over this map.
Oh, it's basically musical lanes too right now. We're seeing no one's been really staying static here except for the Mirana's been staying in mid pretty consecutively. Luna been farming up her lane as well, but then seeing the side of TShow.
Yeah, they did see the smoke up from Tide and Sand King. There were pings coming out, so Jug knows this is going on. I don't know if he expects it coming on him though.
I don't know. He's running back to his tower. I think he's got a general idea. Smoke's gonna pop. There's the burrow strike forward here. Tide doesn't want to quite reveal himself just yet. That arrow, ooh, just gonna run by his nose there.
Man, if that arrow connected, I would have felt so bad for that Juggernaut because he was playing so carefully.
I know.
But does miss the mark. Luna's going to rotate down. It looks like they're going to go for a trade in towers. T1 top for T1 down bottom.
Here's the spin coming out from Jug. He's feeling very, very strong right now. We'll actually just TP out in front of them. And while all this goes on top lane, we do lose Shadow Demon. Again, 0 to 60 here. We've got just action going on all over this map. So I think they just trade towers here, right? Because they've got a Tidehunter ultimate down here, which they probably don't want to fight into. And
yeah, you hit this timing around like 10, 15 minutes into the game where neither safe laner feels safe in their own lane because these rotations are what happens. Luna's been farming a lot, Jug's been farming a lot, let's go contest. So that's where you see these kind of lane swaps.
Oh, in comes the Tidehunter. He's looking to jump forward. Does not have a Blink Dagger quite yet. We'll just scare them away, though, as they take the bottom tower. Shards come in. We'll connect over onto 2 of them. Also, I like the cheeky play that came out from the Shadow Demon. Did you see that?
Yeah, where he was denying the Shaman wards with the Jug Illusions.
That was smart. Nice. I like that quite a bit, actually. But we're about 12 minutes into the game. 5.7k over on the Luna, 5.7k on Jug, and 5.5 on Tiny. So safe laner is pretty evenly matched up. They've each gotten a couple kills. That's a big ancient stack over here. Oof, that's going to be nice. They do have that ward that's going to get taken down now. It's always a good feeling when you get your deposit back.
Yeah, freshly placed ward too. That really hurts. They were trying to keep an eye on the Luna, make sure that she, if they do go for stacks, then she can contest.
When did Tiny pick up this Blink Dagger?
I was just thinking, I just seen him pick it up, I think after that tower went down.
Okay. Because that's huge. That's very, very scary now for Mirana and Luna. Because the burst damage coming out from Tiny is super duper strong.
Yeah, I think that's one of the interesting things that's happened in this patch too with Tiny at 707 is, you see these players that kind of stick to the old build of the, Blink Dagger, Shadow Blade timing around the Avatos, and then kind of the more right-click oriented build that you'll sometimes see where you max the tree grab, you get the early S and Y, and you start grouping with your team. But I think this is the game definitely for that magic damage kind of old school builds. Make some space for your Juggernaut, who's got that Battle Fury online pretty soon.
Mech's going to be online for Tidehunter soon. Sand King's getting closer and closer to that Blink Dagger, and Puck as well getting closer to that Blink. So it's going to be really big reveals when that happens. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of action going on. Bit of pincer ring action going on here in the bot lane. Going to try to protect their tower here. Mirana leaps forward, gets that little bit of...
This mid T1 for the Dire is going to go down, and that's really rough, because now with their safe lane tower and their mid tower gone, you know, it's good that they're taking this stack out now, because otherwise they would not be able to safely protect it.
Yeah, that cuts off a lot of jungle here for the side of the Dire. Which means that their Luna and their Mirana and everyone honestly just can't farm quite as safely as they might like. And that's going to be a lot of pressure on these supports to make sure they've got good wards up, which we do have here. We've got one over on the side here, and we've got one over on this cliff side. So that's going to protect a couple of the entrances. Of course, there is still this main entrance off of the lane, though, that they'll need to be careful of. And they're very susceptible to any sort of smoking, so where they won't have the ability to really TP in as easily, although they do have the shrine. So
yeah, with that mid T1 still standing for the Radiant, it just creates this huge area of the map where it's very easy for the Dire to get ganked, but it's very difficult actually for the Radiant, because one or two well-placed wards from the Radiant means that their whole jungle is safe, whereas there's just so much more ground now that the Dire has to cover. And
which is so funny, because I remember like a few patches ago there was that whole video that Blitz put out saying that the Radiant jungle, you need to, you know, protect it at all costs.
Well,
he's saying, you know, if you lose the tier 1, you know, his thing was that, you know, it's so much harder to protect the Radiant jungle, but with the rework going on too, I'm not sure. There's still quite a few entry points though.
It's still very definitely true, but the thing is that they haven't lost the towers that give that access just yet. That mid T1 for the Radiant is still at full HP. Hasn't even been touched. It's barely been touched yet.
Well, yeah, the tower advantage, but I'm saying just in general, losing the T1 bottom versus T1 top. Jug wants to get this last tower. The arrow comes in. He just nimbly dodges it, but in comes the Shadow Demon. They've got the Sand King nearby. They want to try to get as much damage onto him as possible, and they will be able to take him down. Teamwork makes the dream work here.
Man, that's actually such a big kill. Because he's
he thought he was safe, right? He was like, oh man, peace. Peace, nerds. And they just had too much damage there.
Yeah, that honestly even surprised me, but Soulcatcher and well, even once that got purged off, just a lot of physical damage. Just Mirana's not going for the newer. Actually, she doesn't grab the damage talent.
Oh, Tiny's on the prowl here. Top lane though, they do spot out a watermelon. And they want to try to jump them. Tiny making the rotation as well. Looks like there's going to be the snowball in, followed up with the Walrus Punch. Arrow comes in though, does land over onto Tiny. Big Ravage comes out, hits 4 different heroes. Can they turn this around? They've got a Dream Coil. They throw the tree out. Disruption coming out from the Shadow Demon. We'll buy them a little bit more time. Midnight Shadow gets used as well. Are they going to try to turn this around? They did just use the Ravage though. I don't know. Looks like TShow's thinking, this could be pretty good for us. We'll wait for that Moonlight Shadow to get down and maybe we can grab a pick. Puck's found himself a Mirana here. Throws out the Waning Rift, but will have to run himself back. Sand King has a Haste Rune nearby. And there's the Pincering coming out. He jumps again over onto Puck into the arrow. And it looks like Nada actually going to clean up.
I think that was the reveal of the SK dagger, which is what saved that engagement there. But with Ravage being on cooldown now, I don't know how easily they can take this T1 top. Luna is, you know, pretty farmed. She's top of the net worth by a pretty sustainable margin, but still a Tiny with a Blink Dagger, and Blink Toss is always scary.
He's just picked up a Shadow Blade as well, I believe. It's coming out to him on Courier. Oh, the jump forward coming out from Sand King. There's 2 different people here stuck now. Walrus Punch will come out, followed up with the Lunar Eclipse. Oh, it's doing so much damage. These claves just popping left and right. Jug gets the ulti off over onto Tidehunter. We'll try to spin to win, gets the kill over onto Tide. And it looks like now the rest of the team going to be forced to run themselves out. They don't want to deal with this. Tiny, though, he's not done. He's found himself a Sand King. Shards come out. Oh, the Dream Coil comes out. It breaks. Does a little bit more damage. Can he get himself out in time? Puck getting the click off. He's going to try to maybe... Oh, I think this is a very dead Sand King. I think that's where you try to get the deny from Roche, right? Ooh. Shadow Demon. Needs to be careful here. These Luna Glaives do so much work, though.
Well, they're gonna get some. Oh my God, is Tiny?
Yeah,
dead?
right? Right? He's so close to being dead. He's at 60 hit points.
Oh my lord! I was like, Tiny's just gonna clear up these illusions, and oh, Tiny's almost dead.
This Luna is, you know, she's got her Mask of Mana, she's got her Dragon Lance, and of course the Yasha. But those glaives from the illusions too, they just cut him up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons that we saw SD Luna just so powerful a few patches ago. They had to like nerf illusions into the ground to make this combo go away. But
yeah, we saw the gold change too. You got gold from killing off illusions because before you didn't. Back in the old days of Dota. Sand King jumps forward. He's a little bit debated though. He's gonna get immediately held into shackles. Ravage comes out though, buys the Sand King more time. There's gonna be a big stars for him. Followed up by 3-man Dream Coil here. Lowling Blue trying to fight himself out. Will get taken down. We get a nice little illusion coming out, but they use the wards over here and they're not gonna be able to take any towers with those wards today. No siree. Tiny standing nearby. He's got the blink. He's thinking about going back in. Tusk sitting a bit low. They will jump forward though. Get the Tidehunter. They're not afraid of him now that the Ravage is gone. Disruption buys him some more time. Big epicenter coming out though. They're gonna get the kill over onto Jug. They get the kill onto Tusk too. They're turning this around. That creep's gonna get thrown over onto Shadow Demon. They have a sentry, but they don't have dust. Looks like the puck gonna be able to blink itself out and get away here.
And I mean, the big thing too is that they're winning these engagements without the Luna. Like that was a kill on the Juggernaut, who's supposed to be the most scary and farmed hero on the map, but Luna wasn't there.
Making quite a bit of space for Atan here. And that's one thing that I've noticed when following them through the open quals is that if you give Atan enough space, he will deliver. Right now, 4-1-1. Working on that, BKB next knows that he's very susceptible to the lockdown coming out from the side of the Radiant here.
Yeah, and he's sitting pretty comfortably on top of the net worth right now. Basically, he is the net worth lead. There's about a 3K net worth lead overall for the Dire, and he's about 2-3K ahead of Mr. Juggernaut. So everything's riding on his shoulders right now, but so far he's been able to deliver nicely. And if once those towers start to fall too, that's where the gold meat is just gonna go grow and grow for the Dire.
Oh, we've seen such nice initiations followed up with counter initiations here. It's been a very back and forth game. It's been a lot of fun too. Trying to see, you know, oh man, this is looking real bad for the Dire. Oh, now it's looking really, really bad for the Radiant. So good reactions coming out from both of the teams.
Yeah, very, very skirmishy game. 23 kills in 20 minutes. Lots of back and forth. And
Tiny's on the hunt.
Are they gonna get this? He's on the sentry ward.
He's literally standing on that sentry. They're trying to bait him, I guess. Ravage gonna be up in about 1 second here. The Silence Waning Rift following up. Can they lock him down? He's just getting thrown up into the air. Lunar Eclipse gets used though. They do get a kill over onto the puck. They might be able to get this kill onto the Tusk here. Yeah, I think he's toast. And they actually use the Moonlight Shadow as well. Might have been a little overkill there, but nice baiting coming out from Tidehunter. I was literally kind of concerned that he wasn't going to be able to get that Ravage off, even though it was on cooldown for like another second. They just threw him up in the air, they tossed him, they silenced him, they did everything, and he is still able to get off.
I'm a little bit surprised he didn't get tossed back there, but I mean, you don't also at the same time you also don't want to give Tide just a free Blink Dagger initiation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what they were concerned about, because again, he was standing right near that sentry ward.
Yeah. Nice deny. Well played.
And with Ravage down, Eclipse down as well, looks like they're just going to back out.
There's going to be a smoke up from the Radiant, though. Full 5-man smoke. Tiny's going to try and get some mana, but with Ravage on cooldown, they want to take advantage of this cooldown and maybe kill the Luna, who is getting absolutely massive.
Lowling Blue just on the prowl.
Luna's actually changed her mind. She had the BKB queued up, and she almost has the money for it, but she wants the butterfly instead. She just wants to do damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I feel about that, just because if she gets locked down, like we just saw the Tidehunter being thrown around, could be a little scary for her if she's not able to click anything, but
I feel like any engagement that she's ready for, though, like unless they find her alone in the jungle, Shadow Demon's always going to be there for the save, and I think that's kind of what she's counting on.
It's a lot of faith in your support player right there. I love it.
That's some trust.
All right. They think something's going on, and there it is. There's the Roche. Aegis of the Immortal getting picked up on Jug here.
I think the real big problem, though, is that this Tusk, he had a really good early game, but he hasn't really been able to transition very much. Still only has the Arcane Boots and the Magic Wand. Those mid-game fights kind of not going his way, and the Sand King just be able to farm, push out the waves, get his own, kind of turn into a semi-core in a way, has his Blink Dagger working towards his Force Staff next. Tusk not able to scale quite the same way. He needs those kills, those constant fights.
Hasn't that kind of always been the problem with Tusk, though, is that you get like a really good early game or you don't, and then you just can't really do much of anything?
Yeah, it is one of the reasons that we saw the hero fall out of favor. But, I mean, hey, there's still lots of outplay potential. He's going to get that Glimmer Cape eventually. Going to be able to save some of his cores from the magic damage. Some nice snowball plays open themselves up once you have that mobility as well. So I still have hope for Mr. XD.
Arrow coming in here. Doesn't quite connect. Snowball will buy a little bit more time. Actually dodges the Burrow Strike and will connect over onto Sand King. But Lowling Blue, he's just toast. Tusk is also going to get taken down. This is the tower that belongs to the Dire here. And there's not too much that they can do about it. I do like that they're trying to just put damage onto the T2 top because they know that they can't really contest. They're going to have to wait for high ground, but they're just running full tilt. This is pretty interesting considering that the Jug does have the Aegis here, but that pick-off just made it so that they were able to go high ground on the side of the Dire. Look at all these Luna illusions too. Oh, they jump forward immediately over onto Puck. They're just going to slice him up. Sand King now having a little bit of trouble here, going to have to run himself back. And can they get that kill? Yeah, they'll actually pop the Aegis over on the Jug, turn themselves back around, and just take that tower. Sand King hiding out over into the corner. Tusk is forward again, but he's taking so much damage. This could be a very... Oh, that's a dead Tusk here. And during all this, the racks are just getting shredded by these Luna illusions.
She literally hasn't moved. She's just stood in that same spot while Shadow Demon just makes constant illusions of her. That was...
Objective-based gaming, Forge, right?
Yeah. That's...
Let the rest of the team run their faces at the enemy. She's just going to hit buildings.
Yep.
And that butterfly.
And that's the power of the combo.
Well, I think this is going to work out really well for her, considering the fact that she's finished the butterfly and she's getting closer and closer now to picking up that BKB. Bit of a risky play, but it's working out for her.
If you have a Shadow Demon that's just going to constantly keep you safe, and you have like Jug died just to glaives. So if you have that much damage and you're that far ahead that you can just kill the Juggernaut off of the glaives bouncing around, I think you can feel a little bit safe going for a greedier play.
Also important to note, they didn't even have to use the Ravage there. They still had their ace in the hole.
That is actually an important... That is good. They did use the Moonlight to kind of like fake back for a second, but Luna just was like, nah, we're going to take buildings. It's fine. And Aegis is down now, so this could be a troublesome next couple of minutes.
I mean, if they get another pick like they did early on, grabbing that Tusk and the Shadow Shaman, like, that's just go time.
It's also interesting too because the last time these teams faced off against each other, they played each other pretty recently within the last couple of weeks, and it was TShow who got 2-0 in the last couple of series. So this time around, Mad King's deciding they're not having any of that.
Well, keep in mind too, this is a best of 3 series, so who knows what's going to happen. But
hopefully we'll get a game 3.
It's always fun when you can go to game 3 and get really hype about it.
Absolutely.
It's like BKB's next up on the list here for Tiny. Although I think these Lunar Glaives are just going to shred him either way, though, right?
Yeah, he needs the extra armor, I think. But at the same time, he needs to not get caught out by Ravage. I think that's his big worry, is just being able to pop BKB and go in on the Luna, go in on the Shadow Demon more likely, actually.
Now, this could be a good fight for them. Looks like Puck's not going to risk it, though. We'll just blink himself out here. Casual arrow gets thrown out. Won't connect onto anyone. But they're just going to take the tier 2 top. Shadow Shaman trying to split the wave a bit, but...
Yeah, the Shadow Shaman's cutting top.
He's trying. He's doing whatever he can, man. But Again, these Luna illusions. They're just slicing through everything like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah. Fortification, the glyph, or the backdoor protection is going to kick in.
Oh, that arrow lands over onto Tusk.
Is it going to kick in soon enough, though? Oh, my lord.
Yeah, Tiny jumps forward. He isn't going to be able to quite land that avalanche, and the rest of the team will just walk themselves out. They're happy. They haven't even used an Aegis for this Forge. They haven't had an Aegis. They haven't used Ravage. That's just the power of the Shadow Demon Luna combo. And I'm not sure. I think we might see a ban on Shadow Demon next game.
Yeah, Shadow Demon or Luna. One of the two. Probably the Shadow Demon, though, because he just combos so well with both Morphling and Medusa, who are also banned out in the first phase this game.
Looks like they... Oh, we've got a Scotty up and running. They do spot out the Shadow Shaman over here, and he's just obliterated.
Every time Luna's like, I'm going to get myself a BKB, she's like, nah, I'm just going to get something else.
She's riding that high, right? It's what is it, people at casinos do too. They're like, oh, I could stop, or I could just keep betting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's clearly what Autumn's doing here. Casual tree thrown at her. She doesn't even care. You think I care trees? IDC.
Yeah, and Jug's going for the Mjolnir now. He's got the full thing ready to go just to help clear out these waves, clear out these illusions.
With a jump forward, they found themselves a puck. We'll just be able to go and hide himself here, buy himself a little more time. There's so much damage done on this tower already. There's a Dream Coil used over here on the side, though. They do get the kill over onto Sand King, so that's one less team fight ulti. Do they continue
That's a gem on
here?
the deck. I don't know if you do.
They still have Ravage, though, and they're really... Look at these illusions!
Okay, maybe
Look
you
at
do.
Jug! Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think they're feeling very confident. There's the jump forward from Tiny. He actually tosses. That's a perfect Ravage if they wanted to go for it. There's the Ravage followed up with the Lunar Eclipse. Jug gonna be able to dodge it here. They'll force Staff the Tidehunter forward, try to run him out. And he's got the Mjolnir over and on him here. Can they get the kill over onto Tusk? It's looking pretty good, but he might be able to run himself out. The BKB gets popped from Mirana. She's on the prowl. Does find herself that Tusk, gets that kill.
And they get the gem back.
And they get the jump back. And now Jug is, I feel like this is a little bit of a panic dance because there's only so much that he can really do here.
Is Luna still alive?
They're still chasing this puck. Oh, that's so close with that arrow. Yeah, Puck's going to be able to TP himself home. I'm sure they just turn their eyes back to the space.
They actually want to back. They are, without Ravage, it looks like they're a little nervous to push.
I don't know.
Nope.
I'm seeing a watermelon right down mid, so.
Well, they were pinging at Shrine, so they looked like they wanted to back, but now they're here. They're just gonna let Luna.
Just let her siege. Like, look at her. She's just cutting through this backdoor protection. Jug can't even go forward. He might actually die to Lunar Glaives if he's not careful here.
That's
so scary. Like we said, if you get Atan the space, he will make miracles happen. Big Dream Coil coming out here. BKB gets popped over onto Tiny. He's got his eyes over onto Luna, but she's just shredding him left and right. He's going to be forced to back here. Tusk trying to run himself out as well. There's a very dead Shadow Shaman. The GG gets called. Game 1 of the series going over to the side of the Mad Kings.
Yeah, I mean, you said it was flame when I called it standard Dota, but it's standard for a reason. It works. It's solid. SD Luna is back in the meta, man.
All right, guys, we'll be back with game number 2, so stick around.